What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Toronto Raptors and answering the question, is their season still alive? Is there still hope in their season to potentially make the play-in, maybe even the playoffs if they have a unbelievable push? That's obviously unlikely, but I'm going to talk about their chances to make the play-in, and yeah. So before I get started, guys, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so the Toronto Raptors currently sit 11th in the Eastern Conference, 2 games behind the Chicago Bulls for the 10th spot. Of course, that is where the play-in tournament happens. That's where the 10 plays 7, kind of like Game 6, where the 7 seed leads 3-2. That's somewhat what it's like. The Chicago Bulls and the Toronto Raptors are playing tonight in Tampa Bay, the Raptors' temporary home. And the Raptors have to kind of view it as a must-win game. It's not really a must-win game, but it's somewhat a must-win game. And the Toronto Raptors have not been good this year. They're 20-31. Everyone knows that they've been nowhere near what they are, and that's mainly been because of injuries and the COVID protocol and not being able to play at home. But a lot of people in the fan base want to tank. I'm not one of them. Everyone I talk to isn't one of them. And Nick Nurse and the whole Raptors team has come out and said tanking isn't even a thought, and that they're going obviously for the playoff push, which is the right move. The Toronto Raptors, at the end of the day, it's way too late to tank. There are just some teams like Detroit, like Minnesota, like Houston that will just, you'll never get as bad as. The Raptors are 8 wins better than some of those teams. It's just not going to happen. I think the play-in and going all out and trying to win as many games as you can is the route the Raptors should and will take. Let's just look at their upcoming games. There are some big games for the Toronto Raptors coming up. Starting tonight against the Chicago Bulls at home. And in Tampa is a place where the Raptors have played relatively well. Obviously, for this year, considering their record, they're 11-13 at home, so they're almost 500. So they're obviously hosting the Bulls tonight. Then they go to Cleveland on Saturday. That's a very winnable game. And then they go to New York, which is, New York's a very good team. They've been playing really, really good basketball of late. So they go there for a back-to-back in Cleveland and then in New York. The game against the Knicks is obviously also a big one, as the Raptors are only 4 games behind the Knicks. So a win there, and all of a sudden it's 3. And depending on how the Raptors play, they could potentially move up in the standings. So those are the next 3 games. If you want to go beyond that, they play the Hawks, another team in the Eastern Conference. The Spurs at home. Both those games are at home. They host the Magic. They host the Thunder. Those are 2 very winnable games. And then it gets a little bit tough for the next, obviously the next 9 out of 10 games, really. They're hosting the Nets. Then they go to New York. Then they're hosting Cleveland. It's the easiest game they're going to have in this tough stretch. Then hosting Brooklyn again. Then at Nuggets, at Jazz, at Lakers, at Clippers. And then it gets a little bit easier. They host the Wizards. They host the Grizzlies. Tough one at home against the Clippers. But then they go to Chicago. They go to Dallas, and they host Indiana to finish off the year. So the Raptors obviously have a lot of winnable games in the schedule, a lot of tougher ones. But I think if the Raptors can kind of hold their own, start off by winning tonight's game shorthanded against the Bulls team, who made some big upgrades at the deadline, of course, getting one of the best centers in the league, Nikola Vucevic. If they can win tonight, the difference with Chicago is only a game. And if we want to look at Chicago's schedule coming up, it's very easy. They got the Raptors, the Hawks, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Magic, Chicago, or Cleveland, Memphis. So they obviously have easy games. So you kind of have to treat this as a must-win game if you're the Raptors. Although the Bulls have been struggling of late. But if the Raptors can string a couple games together, carry up some ground, they're only 3 games behind the Pacers for 9th. If they win tonight, they'll be 1 game behind Chicago for 10th. They're right there. And if they can get everyone back healthy, playing at their full potential, the Raptors are still one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the Eastern Conference. We'll see what ends up happening. That's all I got in this video. Please let me know, guys, down below in the comment section, where do you see the Raptors finishing in the standings? What seed do you have them finishing in? They have 21 games left. Let me know in those 21 games what their record could be. And of course, as always, please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.